part two because we kind of got cut off. But just to reiterate what I was talking about before, it is very important to understand that you should never feel guilty because you are now from one bad relationship going to the next. Because you were just talking about like how your second husband was treating you, and you went through so much. And I guarantee you that the person you are today is not because of anything other than what you have literally went through with all your relationships. Everybody has been breaking you on purpose, because breaking the cycle that's in our mind, that brainwashed mentality from day one, it doesn't go away overnight. Just because you're ready to walk out of your marriage, that doesn't mean that you're no longer broken. Well, I remember when my father was telling me, hey, why don't you just go back to your husband if he'll ever change? I said, no, I will never, ever, ever in my life date another man who disrespects me as a woman. It doesn't have to be physically. It has to be, we don't even have, like, I want to call you and tell you how my day was, and I can't do it because you don't even care to even bother to ask. Wow. You don't care to even bother to listen. And I explained to him that because of that brainwashed mentality, I have attracted the same type of people. Mm-hmm. And they always say that you attract the worst set of people when you're broken. And that's exactly what happened. Sometimes, you know what? I was like, you know what? I remember when I was broken, I never treated people like that. I never mistreated people. I never bullied them or disrespected them, made them feel like they're less than, they're worthless. It really does come down to who you are as a person. That's why our journey is that difficult. Yes. Because you are always taking the high road. And mm-hmm. when I realized that my relationship with men, literally the downfall of my relationships was not because I was doing something bad, but it was because the mentality that we were all brought up in, where if a man is pissed off, be quiet. If he's saying something bad to you, don't talk back. If your marriage is not working out, keep working. Did you notice how when you go for help and you ask somebody to help you figure out your situation when it comes to marriage, and you tell somebody, well, we also have a physical relationship, the response is when you're married, well, what are you doing wrong? But if you're in an actual relationship, like a boyfriend and girlfriend, they're going to say, why are you still with him? Right. That's the hypocrisy of the society. Yeah. Did you notice that?
Yeah, definitely. 100%. And then it's like, oh, well, you got to try to see if you can try to, not engage with him when he's upset. Granted, I am not a person that's going to add fuel to the fire naturally. I don't like chaos and drama and foolishness and argue. I don't like it. So for me, I'm not a person that's going to actually participate in that very much. You have to really, really, really piss me off for me to argue.
But still, you are in a relationship and you live together.
So at the end of the day, I'm not going to sit here and not be able to speak my truth because you're your feelings. I'm not going to be afraid to be who I am because you're upset about something. Yes, there's a time and a place to know when to talk. If a person's already not in that mental space where they can hear you and they're defensive, it's no point in having a conversation because they're not listening. So I've learned the importance of understanding what successful communication is versus talking at each other. So if I'm angry, I'm not even going to have a conversation with you until I calm down, until I get a chance to gather my thoughts and get my emotions under control and in check. And then I'll have a conversation with you out of my logical sense and not just my emotional sense. Because at the end of the day, if I allow myself to just lead by emotions, like we are told to do as women, we're just supposed to let these men just cuss us out and call us out of our names, and tell us all kinds of negative, nasty things. And we're just supposed to sit there and say nothing. No, I'm not going to let you disrespect me. What I will do, instead of engaging with you, I'm going to walk away from you because I don't know who you think you're talking to. So you obviously are going to be left talking to yourself, talking like that.
Right. But the problem is, the problem is, when you have children, when my husband and I, the one thing I love about my marriage is that I was able to walk away, or he would walk away whenever the situation would get really, really heated. That is the one thing I respect about the fact that we did not kill each other, right? Yeah, but everybody would always say, well, you have kids. Why are you getting a divorce? Why? And I'm like, it's not because I have kids, I have to stay in marriage. It's because I have kids, I have to leave my marriage, because the marriage is very toxic.
Right. And you don't want that to be their misconception of what marriage is.
That is exactly what's happening.
Yeah. Right. That's what I learned. That's why I left.
Exactly. Because people don't understand. It's not easy for us to get married, go through all this trauma and still work, because I did work on our marriage. I tried every avenue that exists before, during, and then even after. And still, when I made up my mind, I no longer cared, because the family disrespected me. They were laughing at me. They were like putting me down. And I was like, that's not the kind of family that I want to be part of, because their opinion mattered, how they feel about me and the marriage. It's nothing to do with how your parents feel. My parents are still quiet. Don't get yourselves involved, because that was so disrespectful. And when I felt degraded up on top of feeling degraded already, I was like, so this is the father of my kids. There's absolutely no respect. There's absolutely, okay, let's just keep both of us together. Let's discuss it. Or let's have like a third party, like a rabbi that's like mutual, like open-minded. Let's discuss it. Because even when I did that, he was not listening at all. So don't tell me I didn't try. Because I purposely said to myself, you know what, let me go ahead and just do one last thing. And no matter what I tried, it was all about, he's upset, he doesn't want to do it. I'm like, okay. Second problem was that after marriage, let's stay friends. No, not it. You have to completely destroy everything. And I'm like, even better for me, because if I don't have to talk to you or deal with you, that's even better. Because I'm in a much better place right now. I realized that the people I worked with during the time I was married, the people that I was talking to or in a relationship with, like you have whatever different types of relationships, right? You realize that you deserve so much more because you allowed them to disrespect you. Because every time somebody disrespected me, I kept quiet. And that was the cultural BS, the systematic brainwashed mentality. I don't care if you're black or white, Jewish, Christian. I don't care if you're, I don't care where you're from. When you're taught to be quiet, I understand there's a time and place for an argument. I get that. Don't act like you have no respect for anybody else on the planet and speak your truth in public. But when you're constantly degraded, and that's when, remember when you said, you're not gonna, like, after a while, you just explode, because for years, everything is just like in you, piles up. And it's not that the glass is already full. The glass is broken. The whole room is floating with my anger. And I'm like, why does it have to be like this? Like, people are just broken and they're okay with that. But I'm not okay with that.
I'm not okay.
And I didn't want my kids to be in it either. And I'm very happy. I do not regret the marriage, and I do not regret leaving it. So for every woman that's listening, I need you to understand, we're also been broke in marriage, spiritually, mentally, physically, emotionally, financially, and we're still sad we're not staying here. There are different organizations in every borough that are actually helping women to get out of these type of relationships, because when you have children, you are not going to be a millionaire because of that. Such, you're busy taking care of the household or whatever the case is. So I need you to understand that the first step is admitting that you have a problem and that it is not going to go anywhere. Stop changing the person that you're with. Try to understand that the only person that has to be happy is the children that you're with. They have to be happy. And they cannot be happy if you're not happy. If I'm not happy, my kids are not happy.
Yeah, and that's what I was gonna say. You have to come first, because even outside of your kids, a lot of times we stay in these toxic relationships because of our kids, thinking that we're helping them. Oh, well, we've got to have this family unit, and it's got to be a mother and a father, and we've got to be together. And no, in actuality, you're actually showing them damage, and you're showing them dysfunction, and they're going to grow up with that mentality that that's normal. And so
that's the community.
You choosing you and your happiness first, even beyond your children. You can't even help your children be their best selves if you're not fully happy within yourself.
You got to break the cycle.
Break the cycle. And that's when I told you I had that choice. I said, which bullet do you want, the 22 or the 9mm? It was really because I was at a point in my life where it was like, you know what? I have nothing else to lose. But then I looked at it like, okay, is this the image that I want my kids to think is normal for relationships? Do I want my son to grow up thinking that this is the way he needs to treat women? Absolutely not. And I love the fact that my son always talks about how he would never, I mean, he's 13 now. So he's like, I would never talk to a woman this way, or I'll never put my hands on a woman, because he saw me. He actually remembers these times. I thought he didn't even remember because he was so young, but he actually remembers it. But what I want to give women practical steps. And so for me, the first thing is going to be getting rid of all of the outside influences and truly, truly, truly recognizing what it is that makes you happy. And I can't even say just women, because this is not just a woman issue. There are men that are abused in marriages. There are men that are abused in relationships. So this is not just a male bashing session. Absolutely not. I love our men. And I think we have some amazing men out there. I mean, I'm with an amazing man. But at the end of the day, it took me many years to get to the place where I was able to even be able to receive that, or even recognize what amazing was, because I thought that this was all that existed. It wasn't all that existed. It was because that's all that I had. That was my experiences, but there's so much more out there. Once I became a healthier version of myself, I was then able to see healthier people. So it's choosing you and understanding, being real with yourself, facing your issues, understanding exactly what it is that you're dealing with, and whether or not you can or cannot stay in that situation. And then two, I feel like it's taking those practical steps to heal, taking that time for yourself, removing the outside influences, your family, your friends. None of them can help you make that decision for you. This is your life.
It's between you and God.
Yeah. And for me, that was where I got my peace. And my refuge was only in God, because before that Praying Wives ministry, like I mentioned before, I didn't have any resources. So it was my prayer. It was my fasting. It was my time reading the word. It was my time meditating, my time studying, my time learning how to heal, how to value myself, seeing myself the way God saw me. Not as somebody that was meant to be hurt and abused and broken and mistreated and gone through all of those things. It took me to learn how to love myself and see myself through the eyes of God. Before I was able to it wasn't about anybody else. It wasn't even about the kids. I had to learn how to love me, because so long, since childhood, I was broken. You know, I had to heal from all of those wounds, all those childhood wounds, all of those wounds from marriage, all of those wounds from past.
And it's not the parents' fault, because they didn't know any better.
Yeah. You know, I had to deal with all of that. And it took me that time to really take that time to heal and learn how to love me and how to choose me and how to know that I deserve to be happy and I deserve to be loved and I deserve to be treated the right way and not to be mistreated. And those are the things that I think are key when it comes to starting this journey to self-love and healing. You can't even think about being with somebody else until you learn how to love you. It's you first. God first, and then he shows you how to love you. He shows you how to view yourself the way he views you. Any other steps that you want to add?
I'm even emotional right now, because that is 100% true. When I learned to respect myself, I cried, not because I don't feel bad for myself. I do not feel in any way like a victim, because I'm not. I'm a bitch. I'm a fighter. I will.
Exactly.
I'm sorry. I will fuck all of you up. Okay.
Exactly.
Because our insecurities do not define me. Let's get that straight. Okay.
Yeah.
However, if I took a beating, whether it was verbally, physically, or emotionally, it's because I took it because I knew that God. Not to say that I accepted because go ahead and hit me, but it's because I allowed myself to understand certain situations you cannot control, certain situations you have to accept, and certain times you're just gonna have to be like, well, that's where it's going. That's what it's gonna happen. Because after marriage, I told you I was in a relationship with this person. I genuinely was like, oh my God, I would love to be with him. Everything about him I loved. But when he showed me that he cannot handle anything that's going on in my life, even though he helped me so much, his vibration broke the negativity that I was in. He helped me breathe and think better, but he had so much problems and so much negativity that I was like, listen, I love you for taking care of the shit that I told you that I'm going through, but don't get yourself involved, because this is my battle.
Yeah.
So when he would get angry and control me and get pissed off and put his hands on me, that's when I, little by little, he was, with every hit, with every curse, he was breaking that nice Marina, the Marina that's like, okay, okay, you know, no problem.
Yeah.
That Marina is easy to get killed. This Marina, get at me. No bullet, no hit, nothing. Nothing will get nothing. Because I am so much stronger. And
yeah.
I love people so much. And I'm not changing for nobody. Everything that we are today, and I guarantee you, every woman or every person, I don't care if you're gay, I don't care if you're just, if the man is being abused, every person in this type of situation has to acknowledge the fact that it's not you that's wrong. It is not you. You're just a vulnerable vibration, and the person feels it and they attack you because they're insecure.
It's I was going to say, it's their internal battles. It's not a reflection of you. They see something in you that they don't possess, and they want to break that in you because they wish they
100%. And it's funny because it's like
had that. And I actually still to this day, with both of my ex-husbands, feel like they still don't understand how they
exactly.
You know, I don't deal with them very much on any level because I raised my kids by myself. I mean, my oldest daughter, she did live with her dad for a period of time and all of those things. And they are developing a better relationship over the years as she's gotten older. But when she was younger, it was just me and her, and they never understood how they didn't get to have the best of me. But it's not even about them. It's about you moving on and you moving forward and you recognizing the beauty and the blessings and the gifts and the callings that God has on your life and what God wants you to do with your life. It's about going through your process, accepting that is a part of your process, and then healing and moving forward and learning how to take the lessons, but leave all that luggage behind, all that negativity, all those negative mindsets, all of those things that could define you and make you into a angry or a person that's unloving or change your personality. Leave all that luggage behind, take the lessons, leave the luggage, and then move forward into your purpose. And then just then, when you figure out what it is that God called you to do, I guarantee you, when you walk in your purpose, that's when you'll start to see that the people around you that you're attracting now are going to change. It's going to be a different type of person now that you attract. You're not going to attract the same old. And I'm not saying that there are not broken people that won't want to try to come and latch onto you, but you'll be much wiser, and you'll be able to recognize those signs and those red flags a lot earlier. And
vibrations.
Because you've been there, you've done that, you've been down that road. So now you've experienced something that has taught you a lesson, and now you know, okay, I don't like what I'm seeing here. We're done.
And don't stand there and fight back because you don't know what the other person, remember what you were talking about, how the ex-husband beat you while you were pregnant. I can't even imagine what you had to, because you have to go through it in order to sit here right now and talk about it. Because had you got up and took something and hit him on top of whatever he was doing on top, you wouldn't even be here today. You had to literally swallow that negativity, that pain, that anger. Like, why are you doing it? I am going to work for you because you're not doing, in other words, you have to sacrifice so much in order to understand, to survive through those times. You literally have to allow those piece of shit, they're not human. I don't care how amazing they are today. They're piece of shit in my eyes till the day they take their last breath. Because you do not hit a woman or a child.
A line you should never cross. It's a line you should never cross.
Never. I don't care who it is.
And I'm not, like I said, I mean, people hear my story and they're like, oh my God, I can't believe you went through that. And that's a part of my story. I have worse things that have happened to me in my life and my childhood and things of that nature. But I don't let those things define me. I am still authentically me. And I promise you, it's my self-love journey that taught me how to love me, that taught me how to value me, that taught me how to know who I am. I am that bitch. And it's not that I think I'm better than other people, but I became who I am because I had to learn I had to, despite all of the people trying to break me down since the very early on in life, I had to learn who I am and whose I am. And at the end of the day, nobody can ever make me feel less than. I don't care. It's a reflection of your issues. Deal with that's between you and God. I know who I am, and I know what God's called me to do. And one of the reasons why I even started my nonprofit was to help victims of trauma. That's why I started it. I started it because of my journeys with sexual abuse and physical abuse and emotional abuse and all of those things. And knowing that there's not a lot of outlets for people that are going through those things. They feel alone. They feel like it's just them, like nobody else understands. I am here to tell you, I understand. That's why I started overcoming abuse through healing. It's about it's about personal healing, personal growth, personal self-acceptance, and loving on you. Nobody can love me better than me. I say it all the time. I date me. I take me on trips. I buy me nice things. I love on me. Nobody can love me better than me. So whether what a man does for me is extra, it's a bonus. It's never going to replace anything that I can.
It's a snack.
You know, because I'm always going to love me more than anybody's going to love me other than God. God loves me the most, but I'm second.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And self-love journey. And I don't want to keep talking about problems. I want to talk about how to move forward. So accept where you are, understand your journey, then work on your journey to self-love and healing. You have to heal, because hurting people hurt people. So if you come into a new relationship with that same old baggage, remember I said, take the lesson, leave the luggage. If you come into a new relationship with that same old baggage, you're going to bring that relationship down, and it's going to end up being, if not the exact same types of situations that you experienced before, it's going to be worse because you didn't deal with the healing process. You didn't do the work. You have to do the work. And in saying that, I want to tell you, ladies especially, because I feel like this affects more women than it does men. And men, you comment and correct me if I'm wrong. Women, oftentimes when they've had to go through this healing process, they're so afraid of being alone. There is nothing wrong with being alone. Learn, if you don't know how to be in your own space by yourself, then how in the heck can you expect somebody else to want to be in your space?
But also
somebody else to love on you if you don't know how to love on you. Learn how to be okay being with you. You have to stay with you. It's okay.
Or don't be afraid that you can never find a good relationship.
Find a good relationship. It's out here. It's plenty. There's not, despite what society would like to tell you, there's not a lack of good people out here. I feel like it's a matter of you getting on that right vibration where you you're healthy. So when you're healthy and you're whole and you're confident and you're secure, you draw that kind of person.
You're content with
a healthy, whole, confident person because that's what you exude. I'll never forget. I had a friend of mine tell me, she's like, I don't know what it is about you, but when you walk in the room, you walk in there like you're supposed to be there. I said, you're damn right. I'm supposed to be there. And I don't care if it makes you uncomfortable or that person uncomfortable or that person, you know, not feel as good about themselves. You need to work on your own self. But I'm walking in here because I'm supposed to be here. Not that I'm prideful or arrogant, but I'm confident in who I am. It took me so many years to get here. You talk about, I mean, God, I was in my 20s when I married my second husband. I'm now 42. And as a 42-year-old woman, the 20-something-year-old me, I don't even know that girl. She doesn't exist. You know, the 47-year-old me, my identity is not wrapped up in other people and their opinions of me. My identity is based on what God says about me and how he feels about me and how I feel about me. And that's what matters.
Exactly. So, everybody's like, well, what will the community say? I'm like, I'm not asking them.
Who cares? Nobody, opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one.
Exactly.
Keep to yourself. Not to be so proud. I am a woman of God, but I mean, I still can go there. At the end of the day, I'm not religious, but I have a relationship with God. So I just want to give women these practical steps. Are there any other additional steps that you want to add to helping somebody get through their self-love journey, their healing, their forgiveness of themselves? Because that's a big part too. Just learning to forgive yourself.
Well, when I was in that moment, like you said, I didn't know who to go to. I didn't trust anybody, and I was just to myself. So I was just talking to God, and I was just telling God, this is the problem that I have. Handle it, because I don't know which road, which door to go to. And that was really hard for me, because growing up, praying was for some reason difficult. So after all those emotional trauma, somehow I became closer to God. It's like I just finally cleared all my karma debt. I was done.
Yes.
Now I was spiritually, right now, I'm not even kidding, I'm so close to God that whenever I'm like with the kids driving, I remember I said, and I'm like, guys, I need a parking spot, or guys, I need this. My kids start praying, get it on the spot.
I get a spot, and every time I say, thank you, Lord. That's the favor of God.
Every day, right. I get in the car and I talk to God all the time. My kids hear it. I say, thank you, God, for this day. Thank you for this. Thank you for that. Because my cousin, sometimes she calls me and she's like, do you do your, gratitude? I'm like, I say thank you 24/7. There's not a moment in a day that I have to leave it for that. It's every single moment.
Every single day.
I got to work on time. Thank you, God. I still get to keep the job that I have. Thank you, God. Because we all at the end of the day have to understand, when I realized that God is your best friend, there's not an entity or a vibration on this planet that's going to break me. I dare you. Because that Marina that was there before, broken by community, society, family, or friends, or people I worked with that I considered like family, you lucky you met me at that time, because you got the best of me regardless. Now you won't even be on your knees begging, because I'm not coming your way no more.
Right.
At all. So,
and
I want women to understand, I need you to realize that you're the bad bitch in the best possible way. Yes. Nobody, not one person on the planet, even if it's your husband or your family member or your relatives, the worse the situation is, the better that you are, and you deserve better. Because just think for a second, ask yourself the questions. If I want to be heard, are you being heard? If I want to talk to somebody that something bothers me, do people actually come to your rescue? If you can't even have the answers to these two questions, get the hell out of that place.
Yeah, exactly.
Find an exit strategy like I did, because I remember I told you one of my business partners today was the person, and my cousin, that I was talking to about the things that I wanted to do and, progress. And just by talking to outsiders, I realized that I can go one step at a time. It's a stepping stone. It's not going to be, I'm out. Don't talk about what you're going to be doing. Just do it slowly. Don't get your bags and take your kids out on the cold. I told my husband, this is my home. You're leaving. And he left. This is my home. I'm not going to pack my bags. I understand situations are different. Like I said, my husband was not the type of a husband that would beat me to death. That was never like that. So we had a kind of like a mutual understanding. So I got very lucky. But women do not have that, because I know women like you lived in the car to survive or whatever, because I understand. So just most importantly, start believing in yourself that you are worthy of more.
Yes, you are.
Completely. You are 100% worthy. We all love you. We're here for you. There are organizations in the area, in each borough. Find out exactly. And exactly. Reach out to Erica.
Yep, right? It's Overcoming Abuse Through Healing. It's WeTakeTheOath.org. Please connect with us. If you are having situations, I have weekly support group sessions. I have resources that I can help you find that will help you in whatever area you're in. It's something that's near and dear to my heart. I started this as a nonprofit to give those resources to women that felt like they were alone. We're here for you. You're not alone. There are plenty of people that deal with the same thing, but people would have you to believe that it's something wrong with you, and that's why you're dealing with it. That's not the case. It happens more often than not, surprisingly.
It keeps, until you break the cycle. So like I said, the lessons are there to keep us and make us stronger. You just have to understand that just because you don't want to be part of this marriage, that doesn't mean that God doesn't love you. And that doesn't mean that, oh, I'm no longer Jewish. I am 100% Jewish. I'm proud to be who I am. And I'm still a woman. And Erica is still a woman, and she's still a Christian.
And I'm still a woman. I'm a woman But I don't define myself by religion. I define myself by my relationship with God. It's something different between what you read in a book versus what you experience. See, I've had experience with God. So nobody can ever question my relationship with God because it's experience. There's some things that I've experienced with God that nobody could ever take away from me. And I'm sure you can say the same thing.
100%.
And I talk about, we talked about gratitude and just being grateful and being humble. Me and my kids, every day we're in the car, one of the first things that we do, I make them tell me 3 things that they're thankful for every day. We do 3 things that we're thankful for. I tell them probably 10 things that I'm thankful for. And every single day, as a matter of fact, just Friday, we were on the way to school, and I was on the way to drop them off, and I had told God, I said, thank you. Well, right before, I always pray too, and pray for God's protection and safety. And right after I finished praying, a car just came out right in front of us. And I mean, literally had that much space before we could have hit that car. And I said, see how God protects us? You remember, I just prayed for God's protection. I just told God I was thankful for our vehicle and how our vehicle gets us to and from our destinations safely. Exactly. And it's that relationship with God. So it's not about religion. I am a Christian. I am a woman of God. At the end of the day, I am still a woman. I am still a woman that has gone through some things. I'm a woman that has experienced things, but I let my relationship with God define me. That's how my healing took place. Everybody's different. Everybody's situation is different. It's not about religion. We're not talking religion on this channel. We're talking relationship. We're talking about how to have a successful relationship with one another on this earth while we're on this earth. But your spiritual relationship and your connection to God, universe, whatever you want to call him, is still something that is very important. You've got to have that connection, because that's really where my healing came from. And you say the same. You've got to take those steps, learn how to love yourself, learn how to forgive yourself, learn how to move forward. And when you are truly healed, know that God is going to give you exactly what you deserve.